Before too long, the Syrian overlords had started great mining operations to extract gold and other precious metals on TERRA, a project led by the dictatorial Prince Enlil. The mining showed to be a very lucrative business indeed. And the Syrian overlords were soon trading these very pure and valuable metals with star races all over the universe. Others were building the grandiose palace in King Anu's honor, later housed by Enlil, high up on Mount Olympus. However, the Syrian miners were suffering. The job deep down in the mines was hard and gruesome. No sunlight, bad air, and long work days. Many weren't happy. The supervisors had them dig deeper and deeper for precious metals in the hard, solid rock, and although the result of their work was astonishing, the miners saw very little of the profit land in their own pockets. Many got sick and died in the process, but Enlil saw their workers as dispensable and dug mass graves to get rid of the bodies. Maybe for the reason to provoke a war, the Syrians captured Titans where they could, shot them unconscious, and put them in chain down in the mines to help with the mining process. Under the whip, they had them work even harder than their own people. The administration soon became aware of this and made themselves prepared for the war they knew was inevitable. They called the stars for help. Soon enough, Aryan battleships started showing up in Eridu, putting themselves in position. Syrian battleships were still nowhere to be seen. And down on the planet, the king of the Dog Star started a war against the Titans, to get them out of there. A war that according to mythology lasted for 10 years. The Titans were hardly taken by surprise, after all, they had been warned. So when the first attack on the palace was made by the Syrian dock warriors, the Titans were ready to defend themselves. Lord Enlil, however, was a great war strategist, and he had been titled the Lord of the Airways by his father, and he was the right man at the right place. The first strike was fast and ruthless, and although Lord Enlil lost a few warships, he couldn't use hollowed-out craft inside the atmosphere. He made a great damage to the Titan's palace. The war was gruesome. The queen's daughters had a lot of Aryans working for them, both males and females, and they were also trained as defense warriors, known across Sector 9 as ruthless when came to defending themselves or the Empire. So the Titans were certainly not defenseless, so there were lots of casualties on both sides. Although the Aryans were often greater warriors than the Syrians, the latter were much more barbaric. When they had killed or wounded one of the Aryan soldiers, in their usual manner, they ripped them into pieces, drank their blood and ate their flesh while the victims were still alive. Many committed suicide if they saw that there was no other way out. Archaeologists have actually found remnants of old atomic, nuclear wars far back in time. The stones and the soil is showing clear signs of radioactivity way back in the past. However, if Earth was still intact the way it was when the Titanomachy raged, more such sites, showing remnants of radioactivity, would possibly have been found. The Pleiadians also talk about several nuclear wars way back in time, further back than anyone can imagine. So it sounds plausible that nuclear weapons were used in this war as well. In addition, it seems like Ka energy was used on both sides in the battle. As mythology tells us, Zeus, at the end of the war, used his thunderbolt, lightning from the Ka, to defeat Typhon, who was attacking Zeus/Enlil for having enslaved the Titans. Typhon, the alleged giant monster, was first defeating Enlil, but was later killed by the same.